10 million Americans lost their job. The big Barack Obama bank bailout in 2008. I lost like $400,000 worth of equity in my house. Nobody cared. Democrats didn't care. They didn't care then. They don't care now. This is all fake. So let's make that point together. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. This is where the happy patriots are. We're giving Trump a long leash to do what he needs to do. So everybody at CNN, shut up. Don't want to hear it. Let the man speak.
Here's the way I think they're thinking about it. It feels like the direction they're heading in is that what Trump basically wants is for our allies to consume a lot more of our products and for China to produce a lot less of what we consume. And so I think what he's going for is a kind of soft global embargo on China. And the way that he went about doing that is he basically picked up a baseball bat and said to the entire global elites.
I like all the scowls of these people listening to her. She's saying facts that benefit Trump. They're loading their little arguments in their head. Look at them squinting at the numbers.
That's a really nice stock market you've got. It would be a shame if anything happened to it. And the reason that I think that was effective is, Lutnick is saying that they could never have gotten such good deals if that pressure that you're actually describing wasn't there. But I think...
And she's doing the smile. That's a condescending, fake, patronizing smile. Like, go ahead. That's the look on the girl on the left from CNN. She's going like, go ahead, dummy. Keep saying your dumb pro-Trump things. I'm going to laugh. I'm laughing at you. I have no argument, but I'm laughing at you.
That was more designed for a domestic audience. And the reason that I think that is this, I've been thinking a lot about the 10 million Americans who lost their homes in the 2008 financial crisis and how President Obama's first act in office was to give $700 billion to the banks that caused it, including $30 billion in bonuses to the crooks who organized it. And I'm thinking about how those very Americans saw a president pick Wall Street over Main Street, and what they saw this whole week was a president willing to go out there and fight for the forgotten men and women of this heartland and take on the entire international global order.
Okay. First of all, you cannot say that.
And they all blow up into an argument. The one guy with his glasses way down here in mockery, like, I'm going to school. How dare you school? No, all the financial people backing up Obama in 2008 for saving that institution. No one came out and bailed out us. That's the forgotten man that Trump came back and said, I hear you, middle class. You've been screwed. We're done letting China screw us. That's the bottom line. And it's very similar to what we watched at the southern border, where people just came running over, and Biden and the left did not care. By the way, Republicans for years too largely said we need them to pick our fruit. This goes all the way back to Reagan. Remember, Reagan was the first to give them amnesty, selling out the Americans. And now Trump comes back and says, you know what? They went too far. We're going to end it. And of course, everyone's going nuts over his border wall, even though normal Americans and normal voters love it. We love it. Build a big wall and stop the illegals from coming in. Oh, and deport them. Supported by like 80% of the American people. Deport illegal aliens from Tehran, from Venezuela, from Mexico, from China. Get the illegals out. Here's Hillary Clinton agreeing way back in the 90s. She sounds like Donald Trump here. She might as well be Donald Trump.
So I think we got to have tough conditions.
Oh, yeah.
Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Yeah, she's nodding, but she didn't mean it because she's a liar. Hillary Clinton is she didn't mean one word of this. I love having it on video. And now all the Democrats are going, you know what that is? You know what she sounds like? She's a racist. She sounds like a white supremacist. This is what she's doing. She's doing Nazi talk. She hates Mexicans. She hates them. That's what we learned from the Democrats. It's okay, guys. Anytime they propose any kind of morality, they never mean it. They're just kidding.
On the markets, does the president think it's a big deal that today the Dow Jones is down at one point more than 1,100 points?
Well, to start with, we focus on the trends in the economy, not any one day and any single indicator. Unlike his predecessor, the president does not look at the stock market as a means by which to judge the economy.
Even now when they say they're against Trump's or what's Trump doing or, our principle says blah, blah, we're pro-trans, we're pro-gay, we're pro-women. They're not pro any of it. They only love power. They're addicted to power. And man, anything threatens that power, stands between a Democrat and power, they will spray paint, they will bomb your dealership and spray paint a swastika on your car.
This, to me, is one of the most shocking pieces of poll data that I truthfully have seen this year, or maybe in any prior year.
Really?
Yes, really, because I want you to take a look. Cares more about the needs for people like you. You mentioned the Cape Ball. We got a tie, even after this tariff war had already started, split between Democrats and Republicans on how people feel. Which party cares more for needs of people like you? And why is that so surprising? Because I want you to take a look at prior years. Democrats always lead on this question. Back in 2017, before the 2018.
Guys, no, what those numbers mean, we're going to get back to the numbers in a minute. But what those numbers mean is they all the way back to 1994, people used to believe that Democrats cared. 2005, Democrats cared. 2017, Democrats cared. And now people realize Democrats do not care. Thank the Lord. The truth came out. What changed? It's simple media the lies that media told were broken. People looked around and go, you know what? These Democrats, man, they're liars when they claim to care. That's why I'm showing you that Hillary Clinton speech.
Midterms, 13-point lead. 2005, a 23-point lead for Democrats. 1994, which was a big Republican year, a 19-point lead for Democrats. And now all of a sudden a tie? All of a sudden, the Democrats, who are the party of the people, no more. We get a tie on this question, on a question that has traditionally overwhelmingly been a Democratic advantage. Which party cares more for the needs of people like you? It's truly something I would not have expected to see, especially after this tariff war had.
Yeah, they thought that, they were especially after this tariff war. He goes, he can't believe it's tied. He thought the tariff war would prove that Trump doesn't care and Democrats care. And guess what? It didn't work because the Democrats, everyone realized now, their brand is caca. Democrat brand is you don't care. Trump can even do a giant trade war and he can ruin the stock market. And no one believes the Democrats when they go, Trump's ruined the stock market. One thing we know is Democrats do not care.
Begun.
Where does it show that Republicans are making the most gains?
Yeah, again, you talk about party of the people. Look at this. Cares for the needs of people like yourself. Look here. We got non-college. We got those with a college degree. Among those with a college degree, it's the same score. 8 plus 18 points for Democrats in 2017, plus 18 points for Democrats now. But look among non-college voters. Look here. It was plus 7 for Democrats in 2017, and now Republicans had overwhelmingly gained, plus 9 points. That is, the gains have been concentrated, at least within the last decade, among voters without a college degree, the working class. That is where Republicans have gained, even since the beginning of the Donald Trump administration. The Democratic base is now those with a college degree. Among the working class, those without a college degree, Republicans have overwhelmingly gained on this all-important question of which party cares more for people like yourself.
There's another word for college degrees. People who don't work for a living. Rich, white, elites have college degrees. I have a college degree. Look, I've got my master's, okay? So say what you will of it, but truck drivers don't have college degrees in general, okay? People that dig ditches, no college degree. The working men, the bread and butter people, I'm talking about probably 75% of America who do labor, make things, build things, they're not intellectuals. they are saying we're pro-Trump, okay? And then notice that college degree won because college prevents you from learning things and prevents you from wisdom. So the people like my dad who swung a hammer his whole life, no college degree, he has streetwise. That's when you can read a man. You can look at a man across the room, you can read him. The way he treats you, you read a man. College degree, it's all up here. It's all philosophical. It's nothing real. It's like that part of Jaws where Quint goes up and grabs a Hooper's hands, Dreyfus, and he's like, he feels his hands and he goes, your hands are soft. You've been counting money your whole life. That's the wisdom that is here.
Self.
Your reference points are, as you were pointing out, just before a midterm election. So obviously, let's kind of look at that. Where do things stand for the fight for Congress?
Right. Okay. So you have this question, right? And then there's the question, ultimately, are Republicans going to get punished in this midterm election, in part because that's normally what happens, the party in power gets punished, but also because of this tariff war? And I want you to take a look here at the generic congressional ballot. Where we were in April of 2017, Democrats were already ahead by 7 points. In November of 2024 on this question, it was a tie, and then, of course, Republicans won control. Where are we now? It's Democrats, but just by a point. This looks very much still like what we saw in 2024, not like what we saw in 2017. If Democrats think they automatically have a ticket back to control of the House, I'd say, hold on a second. Republicans still have a real shot at this, despite all of Trump's theatrics over the last month with this tariff war.
There really is interesting information coming out in this that you're pulling out.
Yeah, and I really like this, too. I'm going to leave that up on screen. If Democrats only have a +1 over here, that's essentially an even playing field, and Democrats can never win on an even playing field. They have to cheat, or it has to be overwhelming in their favor, and they don't have the media to carry their water and push their brand and their agenda anymore. So the normal Beltway thinking, guys, remember, is that in 2026, and I've heard Hugh Hewitt say this, and I've quoted him saying this, 2026, Democrats take the House and the Senate. That's just the norm. That's the default. Now, I don't think that's a lock or a default at all. I just found this clip. I love Kevin O'Leary. I wanted to make it part of the show and part of this channel because I dig what Kevin O'Leary has to say, because he's not a Trump advocate. He's just caring about business and the numbers. The
whole idea of today's conversation was just to get to a reciprocal playing field, a even playing field.
So, Mr. O'Leary, what if there was a company called WeatherTech? And they produce really nice mats for their car.
I have them in my F-150.
And they woke up one day and they looked on Alibaba, and they saw that their products were being sold on Alibaba. And they looked at their shipping, and they never had done any business with Alibaba. And they looked just like the mats that they produced in Illinois, and they even had their name on it, right? What could they do to stop this theft of their product, and they got nothing for it? What would be their recourse right now?
There is nothing they can do. You have just told the story of 1 million small businesses in America over the last 20 years. They innovate, they create, they're entrepreneurs, they prove their product in the American consumer market at around 5 million in sales. They're knocked off. By whom? China. Very often, the same plants that ran the molds under a relationship they had with the company. A lot of companies went to China 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and put their molds there. And during the day, the company would run the WeatherTech mat, in this example, here theoretically. And then at night, they'd run the knockoff mat. And they would bring it into the market, let me guess, 30% off retail of WeatherTech. And I've seen this happen countless times. And in some cases where the company's very small, they go out of business. And nobody hears that tree falling in the forest. It happens thousands of times. There's such an immense opportunity here to enforce existing laws. But really, at the end of the day, the reason that behemoth company couldn't do anything about it, they have no access to the Chinese courts. They can't resolve the complaint through litigation, as we do here. So my recommendation is, look, if you're a Chinese company and you want to use our courts to litigate your complaint, sorry, not until you open yours. We'd love to work with you, but unless it's a reciprocal playing, the whole idea of today's conversation was just to get to a reciprocal playing field.
Holy smokes, Kevin O'Leary just said the word reciprocal. Why, I remember in 2016, Donald Trump saying reciprocal. We should be treating China reciprocally. Reciprocal, meaning treat them the same way they treat us. And here's Kevin O'Leary. What is this now? 9 years later, using the word reciprocal. Is Trump some kind of a weirdo, future-telling genius? This is weird. How can a guy as dumb as Trump be this smart? Because he nailed it. And now we're going after China. And Kevin O'Leary here is saying, if we can't have our lawsuits in China, then China, you should not be able to address us in our courts because that's reciprocal. That's what this is really about. This whole trade war is about that. And everyone trying to block for China is just so immoral and so naive. Kevin O'Leary is not. He's not a dumb sucker. He's not a Trump supporter either.
An even playing field. American companies have always been very competitive anywhere on earth when given a chance on a transparent and competitive playing field.
Yep.
That's not the case in China. I mean, we're all saying the same thing here. It's got to get fixed. And finally, here we are with tariffs being the excuse. But now I think she has to come to the table, and I hope it happens. And I'd like to see tomorrow morning 400% tariffs.
400% tariffs, and we're going to go up to 1,000% tariffs, and you watch. It is time to go to financial war with China. It will hurt us in the short term. Oh, everyone's prices are going to go up a little bit, but that's how they've won. That's how they've sold us out all this time, is they've always known that we would balk and go after our own politicians and give them the Senate and the House if the stock market went bad. Okay? That's jaded. It's time for us to grow up, put on our big boy pants and say, you know what, sometimes our import prices on stuff that we buy at China, that means everything at Hobby Lobby, everything at Walmart, everything at Dollar General is going to go through the roof for a little bit. You got to tighten up. You got to hold on. It's going to hurt. But if we break China, America's middle class and yours and my stocks and 401ks and Medicare and Medicaid is going to explode. This is what I mean by the new golden age of America. And you've never seen an America like this. It's going to be on steroids. I'm Doug, in exile.